Allegedly, we are now live. Nate, say what you want to say.
Do you want me to check?
Taking off right now. I'm gonna say.
They're fixing one of the bamboo printers.
Sounds
over
like
there.
it's taking off.
It's definitely taking off.
We're live. We locked in.
There's a red ring around our profile picture.
Forgot about FTC build day. That was a funny.
I like making professional thumbnails and then scribbling all over them with red digital ink.
Oh, yeah.
This is for a very somber episode.
Oh,
I just want to recenter us a little bit.
okay. Oh, do you want me to adjust the camera?
Hello and welcome to your weekly dose of mayhem.
Hello, Nate.
The only show that fell off harder than all of our core at FLR. But not an MVR, baby, because we locked in!
Yeah!
Woo! Emily.
Come on, give us a big woo! Woo! Again! Woo!
SimCity
One more time.
NPCs. I'm in The Sims.
I don't diss on SimCity. Banger game.
SimCity. I have not heard that in a while.
It's an awesome game. It's like The Sims, but better.
It's like
but
it's a
James
city.
is arriving when I mentioned SimCity. James, give us a woo.
You know,
Not on camera. Go like right over there, crouch down in front of the camera.
Woo.
Oh, it's all forehead. All right, so Nate, do you want to talk about how we locked in?
Yeah. Well, first of all, where were we last week?
Flurbermover.
Well, that was the last episode. That was actually like 3 weeks ago at this point.
Oh, true.
Because last week we didn't do the podcast because Mr. Hiller and the Science Olympiad team was at States.
Yeah.
I think States.
Yep.
And the lab was locked, so no podcast. And then the week before that, we were at Miami Valley Regional.
Mhm.
And then the week before that, we did an episode
Correct. About going to Mover,
about going to Mavir. But now we're back from Mavir.
and it's happened.
It's happened.
Yep.
And before Emily has to leave, how did you do at Science Olympiad? Did you guys do well?
It was the team's first year, and they're a 2-year-old team. So not in particular, but
Mhm.
it was still fun.
Hey, at least you made it.
Yeah, my
That's
best
good.
scored the highest. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
She's very humble too.
Ooh.
Presumably, the nefarious, disembodied voice coming from off screen.
I don't know why she's like that.
Sorry, I was about to start talking about MVR, but I just looked at Howard's fish tank.
I'm working on it.
What?
It's so cold out. I gotta take it home and power wash it, but I don't want to get.
Power wash it inside.
When he was talking to me about power washing Howard's tank, I told him that it would be much easier if he put the power washer onto a CNC gantry and then turned the pressure way up, and then you could cut aluminum with it too.
Oh. So we should do that.
Route Howard.
No, route aluminum with Howard's power washer. Howard has nothing to do with
I
it.
wonder what they would call such a machine that uses
Some sort of water
jets
cutter.
of water,
Some sort of cutting device using water.
jets of water specifically,
Yeah.
a water jet. All right, talk about MVR, bro.
Yeah, okay. I gotta lock in. Sorry, I've been like up very late because the school is doing Susical and I'm doing lights, and it was a very late night doing lights last night. But the show this morning went well.
Yes.
Anyway,
And he's got to do it again today.
and again tomorrow.
Yes.
But like again, the other part is
And with that, our season has come to an end. We started the comp season off at FLR. Oh, crap. So I'm reading the Chief Delphi post I posted like a couple of days ago.
Uh-huh.
And it goes over MVIA and FLR, and I forgot that it did both, and I just started reading the FLR version. We've already talked about FLR. We lost. But not an MVIA. We locked in.
Well, we
MVIA.
still lost, but, you know, better
We
better
lost,
losing.
We lost better.
Third, you know what they say? Third place is second place for losers, and second place is first place for losers.
But third place is also on the podium.
Well, yeah, but it's like the podium for losers.
No. No.
First team that didn't get a banner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look for. Oh, here it is.
It's like-
Okay, so we got third.
Correct.
We've alluded to that. MVR went pretty well, all things being considered.
Very well.
We had more mechanical problems than at FLR, but they were small, and they mostly involved drag chain and getting it to stop it's flailing behind the robot like a luscious head of hair.
And also the dealgifier.
And also the dealgifier. What?
So much rubberized electrical tape on
so-
the wheel.
What is a rack and pinion? So, like, what we did for the dealgifier, and you can see this in the build thread, but I'm not sure we've talked about it on here. We wanted to do a rack and pinion to move it outside of the frame. So, like, imagine you had a pinion with a lot of really small gears, like infinitely small gear teeth, and an infinite amount of them. And you had a rack which had really small teeth, an infinite amount of teeth, and infinitely many of them.
Okay.
What would that be?
Friction?
Exactly.
Oh, I get it now.
It would be a wheel and a 1x1 of aluminum.
Should have just bought a rack and pinion.
But like we needed it done like today or like that day.
You should have bought it that day.
So we did have enough rack, James, until I tried to remove the rack from what it was previously on.
Found out that the only distance we needed to travel, we had enough rack for that.
Well, I didn't know that, and we didn't know that until after we put it on.
Bro wanted to cover the whole top surface with rack. It's taking off again.
No one else is taking off. No, it's not taking off the intro to this podcast. Because I was still talking. I didn't come with any real plan.
Why
except
are we still in the intro? Let's get to the
I don't know,
methodology, bro.
So, methodology at MVR. We started off at qualification 8. We lost. Wait, no,
said.
no, we won this. Oh, no, I lied. We won.
Oh.
I should be looking at blue line shows. We won this. We won 8, and it was really good. We did pretty good. We were hitting most of our cycles. We had a pretty good day of practice matches. Pardon me. We had a pretty good day of practice matches the day before. We went 2-2, just like at FLR, which was really good. And we won this match. And we were playing with a team that would eventually go on to, I think they were second place. Or did 111, or did we beat 111? I don't remember. No,
we beat 'em.
111 got eliminated by us. Sorry.
It's all spoilers.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm getting.
They got beat by us. We never said eliminated. Forget that you heard that.
Yeah. Then the second match, we were playing against 1507. Now remember, 1507. They'll come back later. All right. So we were playing against 1507, and we hit nearly all of our shots. And we also got the perk for the ranking point. We actually got 3 ranking points this match, though we didn't get 6 because we lost. Though it was a good sign of things to come. Qualification 18. This was a second match against 1507. MVR had a weird number of teams, so you would play against the same team and with the same team twice. It was super weird.
Yeah.
Second match, 1507, and with the next character in our tale. 2010. The Lightning Butts.
Woo!
And definitely the best dedicated LG bot at this event.
I'm a fan.
Probably not the best LG bot. That probably would go out to Beak Squad, who we played with in Quad 24. They were also the team that put a leaf blower on the robot last year and got on behind the bumpers for that. And also, they seem to have popped off after that. They had a very, very good robot this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we played against Beak Squad. We played with Beak Squad in the next match, though this was a surrogate match, meaning this was the one that didn't count, which was annoying because we popped off
Yeah.
with Beak Squad. This was also the match we played against 340. Good. AKA the winners of FLR. Keep their eye on them because they'll come back too. But this season, we played against 340 twice in official play, and we beat them both times.
That's pretty cool.
So we're undefeated against 340. So we had that going for us this year. Then we met John Duh. John Duh came to our pit, and we got a good photo of him. Check the vote that's there. Shout out John Duh. Everyone loves John Duh.
Excellent narration.
By far the best commentator I've ever seen in Fist.
If he wasn't a first commentator, he would probably like narrate audiobooks, I think.
Or like the WWE.
Well, if he wasn't like a sports commentator at all, audiobooks would be the next one.
I think he would make. I would read an audio. I would listen to an audiobook. By John Duh.
Absolutely.
Water.
Can we get him to read like a physics textbook or something?
I'd pay way more attention in physics if John Doe was reading the textbook. Qual 33, we lost because at this point we realized that we might be cursed because we can never get more than one in auto. So that's when the curse arose. Qual 41, sorry, we played with 5676, and I'm forgetting their name. The Digital Eagles. They were a dedicated defense bot because they had some mechanical issues with their elevator. And they were very low. They were ranked low because they weren't getting a lot of ranking points, but they were a very fast defense bot. They drew a couple penalties here and there, but in general, they knew how to avoid them. They're another character in the story. There's going to be... Well, no, I don't want to spoil it. Ooh, what does my grandpa say?
Give a shout out to Team 51 going to Houston. Or is that?
Oh, yes. I think you sent me an email about this. Team 51 is a team from Michigan. Is it Team 51? Team 51 is a team from Michigan, and they were fundraising to go to Houston, and I think they got their fundraising goal.
Very nice.
So they're going to Houston. I think my grandfather knows someone on Team 51.
Cool.
So that's the connection there.
Speaking of your grandfather, I did meet him.
My grandfather was at MVR. He took photos of a lot of the pits, and I still need to share you that album so that we can get that in our database.
Yes, I talked to him about our cameras for approximately 25 seconds, and that was pretty cool.
I'm surprised you only got him to talk about cameras for 25 seconds. That's like a new record low.
Well,
For you
don't-
and him.
Well, you don't got to be so mean about it.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
What, that he
It's just
doesn't
I'm
talk to me?
No, that conversation was so brief. Probably because we had to go to match 48.
Oh, that's a good segue.
Thank you. So, I wrote for the build thread post. All I have written for this one is auto curse struck again on this one. We got stuck on top of an algae. Then there's a photo of us on top of an algae with the caption "The Nefarious Algae." And then also we lost 89-86. So it was at this point in the day. I think it was around this point. Kubanek, Mr. Kubanek, Tom Skubanek, former student, current mentor, drove Zoot.
Former kid.
All around, current good guy.
Current adult.
He was like, we've lost. There was at this point we realized every match. Well, there was 3 times throughout the day up to this point where a team had scored more than 120 and lost, and we were 2 of them. And the combined score of what we lost by was like 12, because we lost by like 9 and we lost. Or maybe it was like 15, but it was something low. Just the combined score of the points we lost by, because we lost by 1 to 1507. I forgot to mention that. We lost by 3 in this match, and we lost by like 9 in another one.
Yeah.
So that was annoying. But then we locked in. We're still going to get the auto working. But we cycled great and won Qual 56, 127 to 84. Yeah, that's all that one. So that was the last match of day 1. Then day 2 came around. Qual 64, the final character in our story. Team 5811, Bonds, ranked highly going into this match in a strong L4 bot.
Shaken, not stirred.
What?
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 What did you just...
Shaken, not stirred.
What does that mean?
The bonds?
Oh.
Jeez, man.
I'm kind of annoyed I didn't get that.
His train of thought's gone.
Well, no, it's Bonds as in James Bond, by the way.
Yeah.
If you watch the most recent short, that's why the James Bond theme is on it, because you can see them in the background.
Correct. What was
Uh,
the robot name again?
oh, I don't remember. Let's see if I can be told. It's a great question. They had a cool robot though. Oh, Bubble 07, I think.
Bubble 07, yeah. Funny.
Yeah, that's high quality humor right there. And we lost this match, but we got very close with Bonds. It was very fun to play with them. The drive coach, and I, believe it or not, you'll understand why this is so surprising even when we get to it. But I never got his name, and he was so nice, and he was so awesome, but I just never got his name. So it was at this point James had an idea about how to break the auto curse. And what was that idea, James?
Get. James, what was your incredible idea?
Change the standard deviations and also just make it always score on the left.
What do you mean by changing the standard deviation, sir?
That's not what I was referring to.
So I took the standard deviations and then I changed them.
Incredible.
I was referring more to the always scoring on the left pad.
Yeah.
So what that entailed,
The standard deviation is also part of it.
I didn't know that.
Both. It started working after, and we don't know which caused it.
Probably the left, honestly.
I didn't know that the standard deviations changed, but all I know is that we scored on the front face and the side face closest to us in auto, and then auto missed all. It got two core in auto every time, but like once.
Yep.
Second match of playoffs. That was the second time. That was the one time.
I believe a big part of the success with scoring left is that when you score left, the camera that sees the April tag on the wreath is centered on
Seeing
it,
on
and
the-
so it
yeah.
sees it for longer.
Yeah.
John Gordon's in Woodstock right now?
Is that what that says?
No, it
It
doesn't.
says Comstock.
No, it says Woodstock, bro.
That's the street he lives on.
He's in Woodstock?
Fun fact, John Gordon, famous for being one of the event organizers at Woodstock. No, of course not. But yeah, then the auto worked, and I jumped for joy. You can see it in the short. Watch the short on the YouTube.
Yes.
And then Qual 79, we auto worked again. We were onto something, had some good cycles, but but we lost. This was the last match of the day, so we jumped right into Alliance selection. So let's give a little bit of let's review some of the characters we've established in this tale so far. 40-28, Beak Squad, currently ranked first. 1507, Warlocks, our friends from Lockport, ranked third. 340, One Alpha Good, my favorite robot, one of my favorite robots this year, ranked fourth. 5811, ranked seventh. And 2010, ranked 8th. So, Beak Squad, being the best, being one of the best robots there, picked the other best robot there, 340.
Yep.
Which moved 5811 into 6. And then 5811 picked 2010 in 6th place. And then turned right around in round 2 and picked us. So we were in. We were into the playoffs.
For Alliance, which
6.
alliance was it? Alliance 6.
It was Alliance 6. And we were playing with... clearly we made an impression on 5811 when we were playing with them. And this brings me back to a little point I like to make when Alliance selection. The best way to get picked is be nice to your fellow teammates when playing with them in quals. Mm-hmm. If you just have a good time with your teammates in quals, they'll normally consider you highly come Alliance selection.
Social
It
engineering
worked-
tips with Nate.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just a reminder to be nice when you're playing quals. It worked for us off with Finney Falcons at FLL last
But only
year.
to the team you want to pick.
Just like, you can also be nice out of quals.
I mean, I was... Yeah, just be nice.
Yeah, just be nice.
I mean, I was nice to 40-28, and they didn't pick us, but I mean...
But you were nice.
Anyway, we played with 58-11, and I'll be honest. At this point, I was like, great, we're going to play playoffs, but I didn't have high hopes.
Oh, me neither.
We have a tendency to get double eliminated in playoffs. in every event we've been to, FTC and FSC.
Yep.
But not this time.
Because of the title of this
Not this time.
live stream, we locked in.
Let me tell you what we did.
Well, I just said
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
did.
you kind of
We locked
spoiled it.
in.
We locked in.
Yeah, that's right. I stole it from you. You want me to give it back?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you. We locked in!
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Hey, Emily, guess what we did? We locked in.
But it took a while to get locked in. First match, we were playing the second alliance. Now, for those of you who are paying attention, who was the second alliance?
1507 and 2 other teams.
Bingo. Don't ask me what the other teams were. For gore. Wrong.
But, like, I'm doing a lifting tail, so this is no.
Oh, right, no, you're right. Oh, what's that? Warlocks were 3.
Alliance 3.
Well,
I don't know who 2 was, but 3 was.
well, we beat them too, but we'll get to that. What?
I've got some my cradles
Yes, but we beat the second line.
is another 3.
Yeah.
Wow, not that first match. So playoff match 4, we were playing the Warlocks. This was the match that Otto missed. This was the one time our Otto missed, and it was really. I mean, the Otto hitting it probably wouldn't have mattered, but we lost this first match to the Warlocks, 167 to 128, and unfortunately, we probably could have beaten it if our cycle time had been faster.
Yep.
We had some big defense on us because 1507 picked a defense spot. So if our cycle time was faster, and 5811 didn't have a issue connecting to the robot, we may have been able to take it home. But I'm not sure. That first match was hard.
Now, after that match, we went over to their pit and worked with them to fix that issue, which means that it never came up again.
The nefarious playoff match 6.
Wait, it wasn't match 6. No, it was deeper.
No, I think it was,
Playoff match 4 was the problem. Playoff match 6 was the problem. I forgot if the one after that was. But playoff match
no,
6.
I think it was a problem for 2 matches.
I think it was 2.
I'll tell the story of why it happened after you.
Oh,
recap.
you actually know?
Yes.
Because I never got told. Regardless.
Match 8 was our problem.
Yes, but that wasn't playoff match 8. That was anyway. I lied to you. That character review we did at the beginning of this, getting into playoffs, I did leave out one. 56-67. The defense spot. The dark horse defense spot. Picked by Alliance 7. One before us. And our opponent for this match. They played good D. But it wasn't enough. I was worried we were going to lose because of the defense. Au contraire.
As previously mentioned.
As previously mentioned, because we'd like to get double eliminated. No.
we locked
No.
in.
We locked in. Us, 2010, put up 124 points. We got all L3s except 2, I think. And some good driving from Brady, who's right there. Some good driving got us around that fast little defense spot, and we locked in. And I'd like to issue a formal declaration of you're welcome to all other teams competing in the MVR playoffs that week, or that day. Because you're welcome, because if we would have lost that match, you would have had to play that defense spot again, and that could have shaken things up. So you're welcome for getting rid of them.
Mm-hmm. That's what? Wow.
Wow.
Claim name. Claim.
I'm joking, but
Are you /J or /SRS?
I'm
Nate?
/J. God, why are you /SRS or /J? But anyway. After this, 5811 got their stuff worked out, I believe. Yes, they did. What was the issue? Because I actually don't know.
So, when you have an FRC robot and you want to know what happened to it after a match, you look at these things called logs.
Yeah.
And logs tell you basically everything that there is to know about the robot. Mileage may vary depending on how you program it. But they tell you a lot of stuff about how your robot was doing, especially in FRC. You get the robot's position, a lot of encoder data, power, CAN bus activity. You get like the console, which gives you like text outputs, a lot of that stuff, and all of that stuff gets saved to the RoboRio's internal storage or an external storage device. The RoboRio's internal storage is very limited because of the fact that it's internal storage.
Factual.
And the team that we were working with did not clear. My pre-calculus homework is due.
Oh.
They didn't clear these logs, which meant they kept piling up and piling up and piling up. And because they were on internal storage, once the internal storage got full, that really messed with the, just the RoboRio working properly.
Oh, I didn't know that was the issue. I also didn't know that could be an issue.
Yeah.
Really?
So that's why at MVR we had, well, I mean we always had like the USB stick in the RoboRio, but at MVR specifically, we after every match or almost every match, we took out the stick, put it in, downloaded the log, uploaded it to like a group chat, and then cleared the stick for next match. So
I knew
after
that we weren't doing that at FLA and we're doing the log stuff at MVR, but I thought that was just because we cared about the logs more at MVR, not that actually
no, we did
affected.
clear them because
I didn't know that had negative effects on the Rio.
well, when you're using internal storage, it has more of an effect. But when you're just when you just have a full log file on an external drive, I think it just like fills up and then complains incessantly.
What actually happened is our internal storage, our external storage filled up, and then so it filled up our internal storage.
Oh, so it goes to internal after external gets filled up? Okay. So
our whole thing was filled. That's why we cleared it out.
yeah. So after our first match with them, we advised them to clear their logs, and they did. But after the second match, basically the same thing happened.
Yes, problem persisted.
Yeah. So they called over an FTA to their pit, and the FTA said that even though they deleted all of the logs, there was some sort of like cache on the RoboRio that was still filled up with like the same entries. So after getting rid of that, there were no more issues.
Weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that. I just saw them not working, and then working. So, let's talk about a match that I hope will go down in 4930 history.
Undoubtedly.
Miami Valley Regional 2025 playoff match 9. Yeah. Playoff match 9. So, we were saving us up qualification cycles and subsequent wins for playoffs, it seems. And this is where that back storage of cycles and wins really came out. No defense this time round.
Yeah.
Playing another LG bot. But they weren't as good as our buddies 2010. So, no defense. 2 working core bots. You put that together and what do you get?
181.
181. 181 to 150. And let me tell you what we did. So there's 12 possible scoring locations on L3. Not when we were done with it. 0 possible scoring locations. And loaded that up. 2 on L2 in auto. And then for good measure, 2 more on L2 in teleop.
Very nice.
14 cycles, not including auto. 16 including.
Very good.
We've never done that before.
As previously mentioned,
We locked in. And granted, this game is a very fast cycling game. And cycles on everything. But 14, that's a milestone the team has crossed now.
That's a number.
And it did. Wow, it did. And I'd been telling people all season, partners and stuff, and pit scouts, we could probably fill L3 if we had to. If we didn't have to fill L2. And in qualifications, that's hard because you got to worry about ranking points. But in playoffs, got nothing stopping you from filling L3. And I think this, another thing that I'd like to preach real quick, is the importance of a good plan for playoffs. We did the exact same thing every match. Same cycles in nearly the same order. Do 2 in auto. First thing you do after that, take the LG off on the 8 o'clock, looking from the driver's station to the 8 o'clock side. And then 2010 does the rest of the LG, and we just score L3 going, and we score L3 going clockwise, and 58-11 scores out 4 going clockwise ahead of us, and that's how you lock in.
It was textbook every time, but there was still improv for when things changed, which is
For if like one was cycling, if one team was cycling slightly faster than the other one, you need to let each other through.
yeah. If there's a defense spot, if one
Yeah,
of the
stuff
robots
like
stops
that.
working, all that stuff is considered, but everything else is like followed to a T, and that is
Especially those first couple seconds in tally up when defense isn't over on your side of the field yet. Those are critical. You need to do those right.
yep.
And we did.
As previously mentioned,
As previously mentioned.
We locked in.
I had one more thing I wanted to say, and I forgot it now. Yippee. Yeah, but we won this match.
splendid.
Oh, I had one more really important thing I wanted to say, but I forgot.
Is it the last match?
No, we actually have 2 more matches.
Oh,
Playoff match 12. This one was actually close. This was when we were up against Alliance 2, who actually picked 1507, and 1507 declined the invitation. But this was our first upset, because we were not predicted to win. Yeah. We were not predicted to win this match. Alliance 2 was good. Operation Orange, teams like that. Pretty good teams from Ohio. And we locked in for this one. I'm just reading through to remember actually what happened. There's a cool video there's a cool short on the YouTube of a core dangling on the very edge of the pole, and we fixed it and got it back on. That's pretty cool. You should watch that. By the end of the match, it was 149-131, which was super close.
very close.
149 to 131, and we were actually losing. And that's nearly a 20-point swing.
Yeah.
But Brady, the best driver in the world, in my humble opinion. There was a defense spot. He noticed the defense spot, and what he did, he went right into the reef zone. Defense spot was trying to get to the pack zone, but they were just slightly too close to us. And Brady, one corner barely in the reef zone, one corner barely touching the defense spot, just touching them as they went to score. And we ended up winning the match 157 to 153. The penalties making the big difference there.
How many penalties were there? Can you check?
Oh, I'll check Chief Delphi. It was there was penalties both ways. Like both teams got penalties that match, but where are they? Foul points. Oh wait, no, we didn't get There wasn't. Oh wait, no, it was just 14 points of penalties that Brady drew. So always be on the lookout in endgame to draw some penalties.
So the final score was
157 to 153.
157 to 153.
And this one we got 10 cycles, not including auto. So we fell off a bit on the cycling, but defense. It's hard to get 14 cycles when there's defense. In our current position. We got us. This is when it goes downhill. I like to bring the tone back down a bit. Somber tone. Playoff match 13.
the
For a
faded.
student of you will remember that playoff match 12 is the one we were just talking about. Playoff match 13. By this point, we've secured a podium finish. But the goal is just to make it the finals now. And who are we facing up against? 1507.
And
their
the two
alliance.
other teams.
And two other teams who I forgot. And the nefarious 1507 defense bot, who lost us, who played some good defense that first match. They lost to 340 and Peak Squad. Got butted down to the lower bracket, and all they had to do was beat us to get to finals. But all we had to do was beat them to get to finals.
That's how it works. Yeah.
That's how tournaments work.
Yeah.
So we moved the pit from. We were in the far away pits because there was 2 rooms of pit at this event. We were in the far away room. We moved the pit to the close room because we were allowed to do this at this point. We were right across from 2010's pit. It was great. Us, 2010, and 5811 all right across from each other in the pit area. And 1507. 1507 was right there too, which was fun. And I noticed 5 minutes, like they're wrapping up the last award segment. The last award in this segment of the awards. And I go, hey, I think the elevator driving pulley came off. And like there's another one. And it clearly, I remember seeing it come off in the match. Like, I saw the elevator sun, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, that's probably what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And the elevator can drive without it, but I was like, we should fix that because we don't want to have any problems. So we did. And we did fix it successfully. Though in that process,
I went over and I set up the driver's station as usual, as I've been doing for the past 2 days at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And we notice a fateful return of can errors.
this is after we got the ref. The head ref came up to him and was like, hey, you got to get to the field now.
Mm-hmm.
So this was after we were already on the field.
Yeah. After the repair, we get to the field and we see an enormous amount of can errors on our elevator designated can bus.
The great return.
Yeah. For those unaware, last year and the year before probably, I think.
Less,
but yeah.
Definitely last year.
The main hindrance for us performing good at any of our events was the signaling system known as CAN bus, which talks to all of the motors, just simply stopping, not like refusing to work on a whim because of probably crappy wiring, which we improved this year.
In this case, I think in the repair we stripped the insulating off of one of the wires, and there was exposed wire which was grounding itself to the frame.
Yes, which was
Which was exactly what happened last year at
Yeah.
MVR when we had CAN issues.
Yeah, we improved the wiring a lot. We actually separated the robot into 2 CAN buses, one of which was the one on the elevator, so it was the stuff that moved. And we also used an actual bus topology, so it was 2 larger bus, sort of bus bar wires, and then we had taps coming out of them as an actual physical bus topology, instead of just going daisy chaining motor to motor. Which
Somehow we broke both of them
did we?
in that repair because the elevator the elevator didn't move at all, and the drivetrain could move but barely. So somehow we ruined
Right,
both
because
of
we
them.
didn't brown out. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the symptoms were we saw a whole bunch of CAN errors. I went, can't do anything about it. You're just going to have to deal with
Yeah,
it.
the field was closed. Like,
Yeah, you couldn't
Gates were
do
closed.
anything. So I just walked away and I went, please. And I really wanted that elevator to move. And when we started auto, we went up to the reef, didn't go up.
well, we barely made it to the reef.
Well, yeah, to be fair. So we found out that both CAN buses were not working properly. The elevator one completely disconnected, and the drivetrain one, well, the drivetrain was just stuttering like it was like low voltage browning out. So
Wow.
we really could not do much of anything at all in that match.
But this is when it gets confusing. Because we take it back to the pit, and we check the logs looking for CAN errors.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see any. We check the logs looking for brownouts.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Everything is above 9 volts.
We check the logs looking for connection issues to the field.
Solid.
It's nothing. So I think it's a CAN error, because I think that's what happened when we were playing with those wires.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be a connection issue. It could have been a brownout, but we had no way of knowing, because the logs didn't record anything, which was super weird and annoying.
This is where my explanation of logs comes in. That was foreshadowing.
Yes. So it was extremely saddening
Yep.
going out the exact same way we went out at FLR last year. Though, in a cosmic sense, it was probably deserved.
Yep. It's also the best way. It's the most 49-30 way to go out.
Yes, it was very on brand.
Yeah.
We lost this match 176 to 141. We totally could have gotten there.
Mm-hmm.
Like 1507 is going to Woods. They qualified. They got finalists. They lost to 340 and 48-28. But they're going to Woods because they got enough regional points.
Yep.
And I'm very excited for them because everyone loves 1507.
Yeah.
But we could have gotten there.
Yeah. But the good news is that right after that match, we discovered that the ceiling in the lounge area was transparent, and you could see right through it because it was a drop ceiling. And we also figured out that the
On-shape.
Citrus Circus bot
Yes,
was
is
featured on the on-shape
on-shape,
login
loading
screen. Such an in-joke, dude.
It's really hard to watch playoff match 13. For
Yeah.
me. When I was writing it, I could barely keep my eyes on it because it was just very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what happened. We got third. We got a big group photo of the drive teams of our alliance. Shout out 2010 and 5011.
Banger Alliance.
Banger alliance. Didn't want to play with anyone else. Happy we didn't play with anyone else. Totally worth it. 3rd place at MVR. Beating my 2023 Ruckus spot as the best robot I've ever worked on. Which I'm happy about because that Ruckus spot was so dumb and shouldn't have worked. So I'm happy that we had a real robot beat it.
Very nice.
Final CAD for FTC and FSC. Final cleaned up CAD. Probably getting released soon.
Good.
2 more episodes of this podcast being predicted. 1 next week in the midst of Words. 1 after wrapping it up.
And that will be it.
And then we're done
Yes.
for the year. We'll be
Yep.
back next year.
Yep. And there might be a surprise coming next year.
Who knows what that means?
You want to do the final send off?
I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say.
What's like
Do you- well-
penultimate, but like the 3rd last?
Penultimate. Wait, no, just penultimate.
Penultimate.
Penultimate. Yeah, okay.
The penultimate send off.
Well, before we send it off,
Okay.
right now,
Right here.
right now,
Mhm.
which alliance is going to win Words, red or blue?
Red.
Good, because I made a bet with Oscar that it was going to be the red alliance, and he said it was going to be the blue alliance.
Did he really?
Yes, because it's water game.
He's losing that bet.
Yeah.
He's losing that
Especially because now after MVR, because I didn't actually know how alliance colors were selected in matches for playoffs, but the lower seed alliance is always blue. So I actually really like my bet now.
Yeah. Well, how much did you bet?
So he'll tell you it was 50. I'm gonna say it's $5.
Okay.
Dollars. Yes.
Not five Mayhem monies.
Not five Mayhem bucks.
Mayhem rupees.
So, one more question.
Yeah.
What robot do you think? What team's gonna win?
I don't know.
Just give me one number.
3.
They're not there.
You just said give me a number. You never said it had to be a team.
I really hope OP wins. Personally,
Yeah.
I think they're well overdue for a championship dub, especially after last year.
Sure.
I think 1507. In a perfect world, 1507 would win, but
On an alliance with OP.
yeah, I mean that would be awesome.
That'd be
Good luck,
crazy.
1507. Good luck, 3015. Good luck, 1511.
All my homies from Western New York.
All my homies from Western New York. I'm gonna check real quickly because I don't know if 424 is going, but I don't think they are. But I just want to check so I don't forget them if they are. Well, good job, 424. Thank you for letting us use your lab space. That was very helpful and very fun.
And 1507. We used their
And
lab space, too.
1507. But good luck to all Western New York teams going to Words. And thanks to the Lightning Bots and Bonds for playing with us at MBR.
Yes.
And to our FLC teams, we'll see you next year.
Good night, everyone. You gotta say your line.
Good night, everybody!
And now I gotta wait 5 seconds.